This is what's left of Curtis Model 3 after the crash that we're about to watch. His Tesla was hit so hard that it spun into a crosswalk, hit another vehicle, and then went flying over the curb and 25 feet into a green space near a shopping center. Miraculously, everyone walked away from this crash that was captured from 4 angles by the Tesla's built-in dash cam. Okay, let's roll the video. Here we see Curtis and his wife driving to dinner in their Model 3 Performance in San Antonio, Texas. As they approached an intersection, the driver of a Mazda 5 made an illegal turn. When the car finally stops, we can actually see the hanging "No Left Turn" sign. The Mazda driver took full responsibility at the scene. Police and emergency services were called and nobody was taken to the hospital, but there were several people with minor injuries like cuts and bruises. The Model 3 was a total loss. Curtis got all of the money back for the car, plus all the extra features he'd paid for, including full self-driving, over $70,000 in total. Curtis and his wife used the money to order another Model 3 Performance for him and a Model Y Performance for her. After going through such a bad accident, Curtis trusts Tesla more than ever with the safety of his family. All the airbags deployed, but Curtis told us he felt safe the entire time, even as his car was spun around. The Mazda hit the driver's door, where he was sitting, nearly dead center, and he firmly believes the amazing collision safety of the Model 3 kept him out of the hospital. Trina was driving her Model 3 back home from work in San Francisco, California, when she noticed a Honda coming up in the HOV lane in her rearview mirror. The Honda lost control and Honda bumped right into Trina's Tesla. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Trina contacted the police, and the Teslacam had captured the license plate, so she filed an insurance claim, and the Honda driver's insurance agreed to pay to repair the damage. Carlos sent us this video of his cousin Jonathan, who was involved in a very scary accident. Jonathan had taken his mother and little sister out for dinner, and on their way home he stopped at a traffic light. When the light turned green, Jonathan pulled away, but he was immediately T-boned by the driver of a Hyundai who'd ran the red light. The impact sent the Tesla into a 180-degree spin, and the Hyundai ran into a grass bank. Luckily, nobody was seriously injured. Still, Jonathan and his family were taken to the hospital to be checked out, and his little sister had to get a cast on her leg since her ankle had been hurt pretty badly. They visited the Tesla at a junkyard the day after the accident, and it was quickly deemed a total loss by Jonathan's insurance company. Jonathan only owned the Tesla for 4 months. Now he'll probably have to wait even longer to get a new one. But hey, it's worth the wait for a car that could save your life. Elijah said that in order to properly entertain the Wham Bam community, he chose not to replace his stock run-flat tires for 36,000 miles, at which point they had gone completely bald. He also told us he certainly didn't ignore multiple warnings from Tesla service and his younger brother, advising that he should replace his tires due to low tread. Uh-oh, I'm not liking where this is going. He was driving from Nashville to Cedar Point when the universe finally had enough and sent him hydroplaning off the highway backward at 70 miles per hour. Autopilot was engaged, but there was nothing it could have done to prevent this situation. There wasn't even a scratch on his Tesla, and Elijah was able to drive it back onto the highway. He got his tires replaced within the hour, and he ran his best 3-mile time ever at Planet Fitness while the tire shop had his car. Maybe he still had some adrenaline left in his system from earlier. The next morning, he got an email from Tesla inviting him to test the full self-driving beta. I wonder if this was related to what had happened the day before. Elijah asked us to send along this message: "Don't be an idiot like me. Change your tires, people." Phil sent us videos of 2 different crashes that happened on the same road a few days apart from each other. In the first one, someone had been tailgating Phil for a while, and he suspected he was looking for a chance to illegally overtake him. Phil finally got to a short, winding section of road that he knew well and which had some difficult corners. He went around the first turn at the same normal speed he'd been going, and then he gave it some juice. Phil took the next turn with a little extra speed, and the guy following him immediately crashed while attempting to keep up. Phil told us he's a racing instructor, so he knows how to handle a car, and he also kept his Tesla well within applicable speed limits since he was on public streets. Unfortunately, it was still too much for the other guy. Phil slowed down to make sure he was okay, and even though his airbags had deployed, the guy just kept on driving. Well, at least he stopped tailgating Phil. The second video was captured on the same road just a few days later, and it shows someone who was clearly not paying attention plow into stopped traffic going the other way. Phil had to make an emergency maneuver to avoid getting hit by the car rotating into his lane. He stopped and turned around to check on the vehicle occupants, who were shaken up, but otherwise fine. Phil told the driver he had a video of the accident, and her husband contacted him a bit later. Phil provided him with all 3 Teslacam angles that had captured the accident. After receiving the third angle, the husband texted back, "You're fully covered. What brand of dash cam do you have? I'm gonna be buying these." Phil laughed to himself before texting back, "I have a Tesla. They're built in on all sides. I will certainly recommend the car, too." The guy answered, "I'm glad you have a Tesla. Works out for all of us, LOL," and thanked him for sending the clips. Okay, we have a new theory to present. You know how we always say that when you see a shooting star, you can wish for a speedy Cybertruck delivery? What if, when your Teslacam catches a shooting star, it really means you're in for one heck of a ride? Like, something is about to happen and you're gonna get some insane Teslacam videos of it. Let me show you what we mean. Cass sent us this video. He'd picked up his Tesla 3 days prior and was about to take off on his first road trip. He decided to stop by his mom's house the night before to visit and show her his new car. While saying goodbye, they saw a shooting star right in front of them. Cass's first instinct was to go into the car and save the Teslacam footage in case it had caught the meteor. Sure enough, it did. This was actually the very first clip that he'd ever saved in his car. Oh, Cass, if you only knew what you'd started. Roll the Jumanji music. Early the next morning, Cass was in downtown Dallas, Texas, waiting for a light to turn green, still not really knowing what that shooting star the night before had meant. There was an ambulance parked on the corner to his left, blocking his view of any traffic from that direction. When his light turned green, he started to move forward through the intersection. When he was partway through, a Mercedes nearly T-boned him in the driver's rear door. Cass is convinced that the emergency braking on the Mercedes saved both of them on this one. Later that day, he hit the open road for his trip from Dallas to Orlando, Florida for his friend's wedding. He hadn't gotten far before more strange things started to happen. He had just engaged autopilot for the first time when a truck in front of him lost a couch that fell right into his lane. Autopilot didn't react and the car didn't give any warnings, so Cass took over and applied the brakes. He was able to get around the couch just in time. Luckily, traffic wasn't too heavy and he avoided going into the median. The truck behind him had been going a little too fast and had to dodge the couch a little more aggressively. See what we mean? Think carefully about saving that Teslacam footage the next time you see a shooting star. Gunnar was heading into Reykjavik, Iceland late one night when he suddenly saw a big light in the sky. Oh man, that was a big one. Wait a second, since we're watching this, that must mean you press the save button, right Gunnar? Gunnar? Oh, that's right, he can't hear us. Oh no, brace for impact. Luckily you're in a Tesla, one of the safest cars in the world. This submitter came back to his car to find a Sentry Mode video. A couple of wild turkeys had run laps around the SUV parked next to him. I'm not even sure what to say about this one. That means it's time for another joke competition. Leave your best punchline about why the turkeys are running around the SUV. The winner with the funniest joke will win a Wham Bam hoodie. Game on! Carl was driving his Model Y on his way to work in Monterey, California when he noticed what he first thought was an airplane, so he reached for the Teslacam save button. When he looked up, it was gone. When he got to work, he reviewed the video and saw that it was actually a falling meteor. Uh-oh, you're in for a ride, Carl. Teslacam captures from 4 angles, but for some, that's not enough. This Tesla owner installed 4 more cameras. Believe it or not, this has actually already helped him in an insurance claim against Tesla. He was charging at the Cupertino Supercharger on Stevens Creek Boulevard during a big storm. Some of the chargers had been worked on by maintenance technicians several days prior to this, and evidently the covers hadn't been securely reinstalled. The top cover of the stall behind him blew off in the wind and hit the roof of his Tesla before sliding down the side and causing a deep scratch. The Teslacam didn't capture it, but his backup 4-channel dashcam setup did, and he was able to contact Tesla with the video to seek compensation. Unfortunately, he hasn't heard back yet. This is actually quite the life hack. With a setup like this, you can have the Teslacam experience in any car. We reached out to someone who can tell you a little bit more about this setup.
Here you have the 4K rear view camera, right? That one is attached to this side cam, right? Which gives you an image if you step about a meter away from the car, which gives you a view up until about here. Here we see the other side, right? So you hardly see it, and you won't even notice it when you're sitting in the back there, right? And then of course, if we look at the front camera, which is also a 4K camera, so that is attached here. Let's have a look at what the images are and how you see me walk around the car and how it connects to each other.
This was just a short preview of Steven's full video. We put a link to it in the description if you want to check out the whole thing.